Hello and welcome to a game of Thing with a Ring for 2 players. I'll go through the setup, very easy. You place the battle die in the centre, then you place the ring card, then you place the party card standard side up in the centre of the table. That forms the party location. Then you take the 6 royal quest cards, they all have 3 icons on, they form the quest deck discard pile. Then you take the quest cards, you give them a shuffle. That's the quest deck. Then you take the event cards, you give them a shuffle. That's the event deck discard pile. Then you set up your Robbit location. So I'm playing Silas Fiddlesticks. He starts hidden in this little Robbit pit. Your Trixie card starts face up with the excuse and magic icon on the top, and you can use one or other of those. There we go.
I'm playing Teddy Tommyrot. He also starts hidden, and his Trixie card starts face up.
So the player who goes first is the person who last went on a quest. I believe that was Gary.
Okay, I shall take a quest card, and it is a sudden event. The first thing that happens on the sudden event is the Trixie cards get turned face up, but we've already got them face up, so we ignore that bit. I shall draw an event. It is a rational explanation. It all sounds a bit far-fetched. Discard any magic card or turn any Trixie card face down. Well, I think I shall be choosing Silas's Trixie card for that.
That didn't seem fair. So I draw a quest card and I get an elf at my location. Now I would possibly try and either zap her away with magic or use an excuse to move it to some other location, but unfortunately I don't have any magic or excuses. So I have to roll to see if I'm enchanted out of my pit. So I roll the dice, and if I roll a singing elf icon, which unfortunately I have, I am lured out of my pit by the beautiful music. That's the end of my turn.
I draw another quest card, and I also get a singing elf. What I'll do with this, I shall use my Trixie. I shall use the excuse icon it to send the singing elf over to Silas.
Right, okay, I now have 2 elves and no magic excuses, and then a 3rd elf comes up. So it looks like there's a high chance of getting the party here. So I'm rolling the dice. I'm okay, and yes, I've been enchanted to the party. So when you're enchanted, you move your Robbit and any elves, goblins and dwarves to the party. That's the end of my turn.
Okay, I shall. Another quest card, and another elf has come out. A lot of elves today. I shall see if I get enchanted out of my pit. I do not.
Right, it's the start of my turn, and someone's left a magic ring lying around, so Silas Fiddlesticks has to pick it up, which means now I have the ring, I draw 2 cards on my turn. And I get 2 dwarves, so they're just going to sit there for the moment, being grumpy.
Okay, 1 quest card for me, and I get a dwarf. I shall check for the singing elf, whether she enchants me out of my pit, and I'm okay.
Right, so I'm drawing 2 cards again. I've got another elf and a dwarf. Now, this is fine for the moment, but if I get the 6 icons of either one, the party's going to depart, and I will end up losing because I'm in the party.
An angry goblin arrives. This causes a battle between any elves and dwarves because the goblin's just being placed there. I'll roll the battle die, and an elf is discarded. She has lost the battle.
Right, so it's back to me, another 2 cards. Right, it's another dwarf, and I do have some magic. I don't have a huge use for that yet, but I'm going to save it, but I will get to use it soon, I think.
Okay, another quest card. Another angry goblin. Roll the battle die once more. And one of my goblins is discarded. They have lost.
Right, so my turn, I'm getting another magic. Right, so now I'm in the position where the elf sisters have turned up, which means there are 6 elf icons on. So I would lose this game at the end of my turn because I have the ring and I'm at the party. So I'm going to use one of my magic to zap the elf sisters and send them to the discard pile.
Okay. Another sudden event. Trixie cards are face up.
That's good. Needed that.
Another event is drawn. This one is the Elven Harp. You find the harp. It can only enchant with an elf. It does not provoke. Placed at any location. Well, this does have another elf icon on, so I shall place it at that location.
Okay, right, 2 cards for me. Right, I have a 6th elf, which is bad news, but I also have a goblin, so there is a fight, so I might get lucky here. Yes, one of the elves moves to a different location, so I am going to send that elf over to Teddy Tommyrot, which provokes a new battle. And this time a goblin moves, so I shall move the goblin to the party. And then a new battle's done. And then another elf goes. I don't want to send the... I can send the elven harp. That doesn't provoke battles. And there's no goblin there anyway. So I've managed to whittle my elves down a little bit. I think at this point I'm going to take some drastic action. I'm going to spend an excuse to make my excuses to come back from the party back to my Robbit pit. And then I'm going to use magic to zap the ring to send it back to the party in the centre of the table. So I've got no magic, no excuses, but at least I'm away from the party.
Okay, I draw a quest card. Another grumpy dwarf. That would be 2 dwarves. They would press gang me, but I'm going to use my Trixie. I'll use the excuse on it to send this one to Silas's pit.
Right, I've got a grumpy dwarf.
Then the 2 remaining elf icons, I shall have to roll the die. No, I'm safe. They did not enchant me out the pit.
So now I'm back at my pit. I don't have the ring, so I'm only drawing 1 card. It's a goblin, so there's a battle. The dwarf is defeated. That's good news for Silas, so I'll send that there. That's the end of my turn.
Right, an official excuse. I shall use that. That has 2 excuse icons, and I shall use it to excuse both of these elves to your pit.
Okay, so they both go to my pit. Right, there's a battle because there's a goblin there.
I've rolled the battle die, and the goblin moves. I shall move the goblin to my pit.
Okay.
Where there is a grumpy dwarf, there is another battle. The goblin moves. This time I shall move it to the centre of the party, where there is another battle. A dwarf moves. I shall move the dwarf to your pit.
Right, okay. Right, my turn. I've got a lot of things in front of me here. I've got a magic. I'm probably going to... That's quite useful. I'm in big trouble without it, because there's a chance I could lose here. So, I'm rolling for 2 elves to enchant. So 1, 2. I'm okay, thankfully.
Okay. I get dark shadows. That's 2 shadow icons. The only way to get rid of that is by using magic to zap it. I do not have any magic, so at the end of my turn, the ring comes to Teddy Tommyrot.
So that's quite a turnaround for me. It looked as though I was going to lose, but now he's got the ring. I've got a chance of potentially pulling this off. So I draw a card. I get a shadow, but I've only got 1 shadow, so I don't have to worry about that because I won't be taking the ring. And then I roll to see if the elves enchant me. So 1, 2, they do not enchant me. I did want them to enchant me because I wanted the game to end there.
Okay, this time I draw 2 cards, and I get 2 more shadow, a total of 4 shadow. And at the moment I don't have any excuses on magic, so there's nothing I can do. Back to you.
So the game is starting to change now. If he gets 6 shadow and has the ring, he could win by becoming the new thing with the ring. So I've got 2 magic. That's great up to a point. I then roll for these elves to enchant. They do not. That's a shame.
Okay, 2 more cards. This time I get another shadow, which puts me at 5 shadow, and a sudden event. We get our Trixie cards back, draw the event, and this is the Wizard Goodgrief. With a wave of Goodgrief's wizardly wand, all shadow cards are discarded. All those shadow cards into the discard
I'll have to
pile.
probably save my neck there.
I shall then use my magic on my Trixie to take the ring off.
Okay. So at the moment, I have the most magic icons, so if the game was to end, I would win. So I want that to happen. So I get another magic. If I get 6 magic, I will also win if I don't have the ring. The only way to get that magic off me is to pressure me by sending questers, that's dwarves, elves and goblins, to me and making me deal with them. I might do something here. I am going to use this up to send the harp to the party. And the harp doesn't provoke, so there's no battles there. And then I have to roll for enchantment. I'm not enchanted. I should have maybe done the excuse after the enchantment, actually.
Okay, I'll choose a quest card, and I get a magic. And that is it for me.
So this is close to being over. Right, the dwarf brothers are here. I don't want to get in the game at the party So at the moment, I think I'll just let myself be press ganged. So I end up going to the party with them. There is a fight. An elf dies. I think I'm going to get rid of that half. I'm allowed to take that off. Then the game would end. Right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to zap the Dwarf Brothers to get those icons under control. I could have done something earlier to stop that, but to be honest, I didn't want to use up too much magic. So,
okay, I draw a card, and I get a shadow. I don't want to get the ring back. I shall zap that shadow.
Right, so I've got a good chance of winning if I can get back to my pit here. So first of all, I take the ring, which isn't good. I'll draw 2 cards. A goblin turns up and I get an excuse. So there is a battle. A dwarf is defeated. I am going to spend a magic to remove the ring. And I'm going to spend my excuse to move back to my pit.
Okay, right. Draw a quest.
It's put me in a much better position for winning the game, I think.
Well, I get a singing elf, so I'll have to roll to see if she enchants me out of the pit, and she does.
Oh dear.
One step closer to getting towards the party.
Okay. Looks like... So I get an elf as well. I'll roll as if I'm enchanted. I'm not enchanted. Yes, I'm going to leave that there. If I had an excuse, I would send it to the party at this point.
Okay, I get an excuse. I think I shall spend this excuse to send my elf to Silas's Robbit pit.
Okay. On my turn, I've got an excuse. So at this point, I'm going to excuse one elf to this party. So there's a battle. The dwarf is defeated. That's good news. And I'm going to zap that elf. And I've got a spare icon, so I'm going to zap a dwarf just for the sake of it. And then at the end of my turn...
I have no magic, so I can't get rid of any extra elves.
Well, I have no magic as well. So it is in fact a tie, because I used my last magic to get rid of that elf because I didn't want to get dragged to the party. So, the tiebreaker works on magic, then excuses, and then shadow. It's quite rare for you not to win on one of those. If there's still a tie, it's the battle die. So starting with you, we roll the dice, and whoever gets the singing elf is enchanted to go on to the quest.
A goblin for me.
No, it's me. So... Silas is enchanted away onto the party despite all his best efforts, and he goes away on the quest. He's never seen again, whereas Teddy Tommy Rot lives to tell the tale.
Excellent. I shall hide in my pit.
No! Very good.